Welcome to Studio Nicole. I'm Nicole, and I'm so glad that you're here. We are jumping into day 7 of the 100 days of art journaling techniques, and I am going to be working on let's see, we're going to do a mixed media and layering technique today. We're doing number 51, a modeling paste stencil relief. So I have some Liquitex modeling paste here. And I've got this stencil. It's kind of hard to see the pattern against the white background, but it's kind of a wheel with some interesting patterns. I think I want to use maybe like a portion, something like this. Um, and I will say this, I did have this Bow Bunny stencil paste in gold that I thought would be really cool on this background. Um, But the problem with stencil paste, if you're new to stencil paste, is that it will dry up if you don't use it. Um, I think I maybe only used this a couple of times, and now it is solid as a rock. So this has to go in the garbage, unfortunately. Um, and we'll see if this holds up better because this will be a long time for me to use this whole jar. So hopefully it'll last a little bit longer than the other ones. I am kind of trying to figure out where on the page I want this. Um, I do think I want just a little bit of this pattern peeking through. Like, I don't want a lot of it because that's going to be too busy. But I think I just want a little bit of it kind of peeking through. All right, I've got my stencil taped down with just a little bit of washi tape that I grabbed. The key to making sure that a stencil like this comes out crisp is making sure that it's flat on the page. And I know you can't see this at the angle that you're at, but this page is kind of warped. And so the stencil is not sitting flat against it. And so I need to really be careful about like holding it down with one hand while I'm spreading the stencil paste with another or modeling paste with the other hand. And so I'm going to try my best to keep it kind of clear. And I'm using a palette knife. You can use a plastic palette knife or a metal palette knife or a spatula. Or in a pinch, I've even used like a plastic fork, like a silverware, plasticware fork. Um, I'm not sure how crisp this is going to be, to be honest with you, just because there's a lot of openings and I'm not able to hold it down in every spot, but I'm trying. And if it's not perfect, that's okay. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Of course, nothing has to be perfect, right? That's why we are art journaling, is to maybe let go of perfection just the littlest bit and just let whatever happens happen. So if you've never tried this technique, then I definitely encourage you to give it a shot. You can make your own modeling paste or stencil butter. There are some recipes online, and I've actually never tried that, but it sounds like it might be interesting. So I don't want you to feel like you have to go purchase any particular supplies if you don't want to. You can use what you have. All right, I'm overworking this and I probably should just let it go. Let's peel this tape up and see how it turned out. Whoop, I love it. All right. There's a little blob of modeling paste down here. Now, I think I do maybe want another bit of the stencil to show up over here. Um, but I want a different part of it. Like, I want more in the center. And so in order to not mess up what I have here, I'm going to have to dry it. So I will pause and come right back. Actually, before I pause, I do want to say that it is a good idea to wipe your stencils. If you have baby wipes nearby, wet wipes, or even just a damp paper towel, This modeling paste will stick on your stencil, and over time it will build up and it will ruin the stencil. Like it won't be as crisp, and you'll have yeah, it just won't work as well in the future if you don't take some time to clean it off. So just remember to do that, or don't, and realize that your stencils are going to get ruined, right? Like there are always consequences. You can choose not to clean it off if you want, and I have done that many times, and I can't use those stencils anymore. So it's up to you. Okay, so I dried the stencil paste mostly. I didn't I mean, I'm sure I could still smush it if I tried hard enough, but I'm not going to try. And now what I'd like to do is use just the littlest bit of this part up here at the top of the page. So this is a little bit tricky because I'm working at like the juncture of the page, and this is a big stencil and it doesn't really fit. So I'm doing my best to kind of hold it down. I'm going to use this again, and I'm just going to go in, and I'm only doing um, these inner lines, these inner layers of this, because I don't necessarily want the whole thing. So that is something to keep in mind when you are stenciling, is you do not have to use the entire stencil. You can mask parts of it off, or you can, just work carefully to stencil the parts that you want and leave the parts that you don't. Make sure I get the middle there. Scrape this off. Let's see how it turned out. Woohoo! All right, so that's what that looks like. I'm going to pause you again so I can clean off my stencil. Okay, and one thing that I want to point out, if you take a look closely, is that there's this line right here, which wasn't really part of the initial stencil, like it was part of the outside that I didn't want. And with modeling paste, as long as you catch it early, I want to point out that you can kind of just scrape it off. Generally speaking, you can, make some early corrections before it dries or fully hardens. And so it's really fun to experiment and play with this medium. I'm going to dry this and I'll be right back. Now, the fun of working with modeling paste instead of, for example, just white paint is that it gives this great texture on the page. So if you touch this, it's raised. And I know I can't get my camera to focus in well enough to show you what that looks like, but there is texture on the page. It's not flat, so you can feel it. It's raised, it has dimension, it has depth, and it really gives like just a nice added element to the page. So this page is very different from our first page. I love how it's little little bits of this modeling paste are kind of like peeking out. But we've got very organic, flowing, warm colors here. And on this page, we have cool colors and very angular, rigid designs. So I like the contrast that's happening already. And I'm excited to see where day 8 takes us. So follow along to see what we do next.